Hey Summoners! Again, this is day 2 of week 1 for the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split powered by Backers Energy Drink. I'm Yuko and this is Vulcan. So, nakita mo naman yung game kanina. What is your input with that game?
Well, it just goes to show that, in my opinion, in that game, what happened was fix. For me, it's really all about the banning phase. There, you can clearly see that other teams they have a hard time adjusting to the new 10 ban system. Because I will always repeat this because it makes such a big impact. Like in the previous match, we always saw a Camille again, but this time, what was Camille facing against? A tank. And the other game, we saw Camille facing against a Fiora. What are those? Counters. It's either you ban a champion or you counter it. So you go, what's our game this time? Because TNC versus what was our previous game again, Yuko?
It was against Im-
EMP Emperor
Emperor.
versus TNC. That was a sweep for TNC. So our game 4 right now would be against Rebirth Gamers Hub against
Jensy Esports.
So what can you say about these two teams, Yuko?
Well, Jensky Esports is known for badging, whereas Rebirth Gamers Hub was previously Gamers Hub, and they also acquired the first Korean player, which is Ni Ebida.
So I guess it's exciting to see that there's this new player, new team, and also there was a rebranding of everything. And now we know Jensky Esports badging. What's
Badging.
badging? Like, you know that control 6 that emote when you kill someone. So now let's go to the MVP. Obviously, Yuko, we know who it is.
It's Lando.
Why is that? Because we saw Nando's Fiora in the top lane was such a threat and a monster. And we can also emphasize that getting that hard counter was also smart of TNC. And not just that, he also rotated around because he was leading. What else can you add to that, Yuko?
Given for the game 2, I actually liked how he was able to use Camille.
Mhm.
Like the way he had this perfect timing for TP. Also, once he lands his Hextech ultimatum, it was really useful and it was a threat to the enemy team.
So I guess it's not who you pick, it's how you use
How
it.
you use that champion.
We also
yes,
see
indeed.
the support MF also being used again and again, but they don't seem to get it right. So, without further ado, let's get to the game with the pick and ban phase. And of course, let's see what are they gonna do. It's the tense moment right now because right now Rebirth Gaming is on the blue side, and their first ban is an Ivern, and Ivern is known for let's face it, it's the lazy man's jungle. And over in Jensy, let's see how will they respond to this. Because right now they're banning junglers. Again, on Rengar ban.
Another ringer ban.
So what can you say? What's their approach? They're banning junglers in the first place. I guess they're trying to shut down a player or deny certain.
I think they're probably trying to avoid an early gang.
Mhm.
Given that, again, they're junglers.
Okay, and also Ivern's clear is so fast that just as soon as he turns level 3, they can just roam and pick off anyone. And sharing the buff, that is powerful. Let's say you're in the red side or in the blue side, anyone can pick up a buff, and also Ivern can pick up a buff. And their second ban is a Rumble. That's going to be a top ban. And Jensky responds to that with a top ban. We can clearly see what's the pattern. If Rebirth bans the jungle, they ban the jungle. And you can clearly see top to top, jungle to
Jungle
jungle.
to jungle.
And
then
another
here have a
top
Fiora
shot.
ban.
A Fiora ban. This could be an opening for a champion. For Rebirth Gaming to I don't think they want Fiora because she's such a threat. If she wins her lane, she can just
Sustain herself all throughout the game.
all throughout the game and really outpush her opponent. And now the first banning phase is done. It's going to be jungle, top, and an ADC ban. So let's see what will Rebirth pick first. This could be their advantage or disadvantage. It's
Okay.
why a Maokai? What could you say about the Maokai? Because it's tanky. It has the ultimate that absorbs damage. So you can clearly say that it's like a team-oriented comp. Because he has to provide that aura to reduce damage. And
A Jin and a Jin and Zyra combo. We've seen a number of those combos all throughout the game.
and there's a reason for that. Zyra was left open. Jin was left off. Jin is actually a god tier champion. Like it's such an unwanted ADC in a team fight, and now Rebirth Gaming responding it with an Ezreal and a Nami
Nami.
support. Ezreal and Nami, they work so well because of Nami's buff to Ezreal, because that stacks with the on-hit effects of his first ability. So, jungler, jungler picked on Jensky's side, top lane, and two ADCs. So, second ban being started. Why did Jensky ban the Lee Sin?
Lee Sin
Obviously,
is really known for having such presence during the early game.
early game and that hard CC will really be difficult for Jensky because they have a Kha'Zix. If a Kha'Zix goes in, Lee Sin can just fly him away with his kick. And also, Rebirth Gaming still did not pick their jungler. That's why they are going for a jungler and a mid ban, whereas Rebirth Gaming responds to it with a top ban. You can clearly see it's not anymore this blind banning.
They're strategizing.
It's a
They're
strategize.
either taking out the champion a threat to what they plan, or they're just making sure their plan won't have any holes or gaps through it.
So it's really a focused ban. It's more smart. It's more efficient. It's less random. Whereas previously in the three ban system, it was really just choose whatever you feel like. And now it's not. It's choose whether you want to pressure your enemy to really reveal itself. And now locking in for Rebirth Gaming is a jungle Skarner and an Orianna. Orianna and Maokai can work really well together with their resonant speed boost, and Maokai is always a champion that goes through the front door and charges into the enemy. But with that ball and the combo of Maokai going in with the roots, it could land a really decent shockwave.
I'm seeing a Lux here. Will we see a Lux support or a mid? I mean, Zyra is there, so I think Zyra will be support. Lux is kind of hard and kind of soft when she becomes a support.
Lux was picked because of the Orianna. At least Lux has some range against the Orianna
Orianna.
because of the ball's positioning. It really makes it makes it difficult for any laner to face against an Orianna. So finalizing their pick, it's going to be a top Nautilus, jungle Rek'Sai by Spear, Spotless as mid Lux, Ace style Jin ADC, Zyra support for Blaze, and on the Reaper's Gaming sides, Niebida as Maokai in the top lane, Jaja as Skarner, Toxic as mid Orianna, Kinzon as ADC Ezreal, and Zhao as support Nami.
I'm actually excited to see how Zhao will do this Elven flow, look at it go for Nami.
So with that sustained in the Reaper Gaming, we can really expect a long laning phase because Ezreal really needs to farm it with that heal and extra survivability. That's gonna help him really stack up the Tear of the Goddess to immediately get that mana mune and to finish the item. So
Here your screens are the teams and their bands.
their bands, and once again we have Rebirth Gamers Hub versus Jensky Esports. So I think we have a word from our sponsors, Yuko, and we'll go back to the game, right?
Yes. Here is a commercial and a few words from our sponsors.
Welcome back to the Summoner's Rift. This is Game 4 against Rebirth Gamers Hub versus Jensky Esports. So let's get straight to the Rift. And what could we expect, Yuko? I mean, in the bottom lane, it's going to be a Zyra And we all know Zyra is such a priority ban. So with Zyra open, what can you expect in the bottom lane?
I'm going to have to see a very aggressive support, given that Nami is more on a sustain type, while Zara is very aggressive, especially with that Strangle Thorn.
So we see, a bit of a skirmish going on to the mid lane. They're trying to really, oh, Spotless is a bit out position with Jaja, trying to, land that stun. Okay.
That was kind of overextending. First, guys, clarification lang. For the search and win, first four links, unahan yon. And yung sa panglima, yun lang yung at random. So for the first four, unahan, you have to type in that link fast sa browser nyo and then just input the things needed. And for the fifth link, dun lang sila kukuha randomly. Yung to be able to qualify sa fifth link, kailangan nag-input kayo ng at least once within those sa naunang four links. And going back to the game,
And we can see Rebirth Gamers have landed on the ward. With that ward, you can see Spotless, they're gonna interrupt his jungle. They're not gonna have an easy time. And with focused fire onto Jaja, he is chugging on the potion to survive. That's gonna disrupt their early jungle, and that's big. That gives Jensky the information where is Skarner starting. That was trying to be an invasion, and they denied it. Great call by Rebirth Gamers Hub.
PSA, you should start chugging that potion once you get into combat, no matter how early it is in the game.
Because you don't want to be bursted down, and if you give a first blood this early and you're a jungler, it's gonna really delay your farming time. Plus, Skarner has such a fast clear because of Crystal Spire passive, and he's gonna have a hard time, rotating back to the lane to gank because he was, his HP was chunked off a bit.
And you can see that the first dragon for the game will be an Infernal Wing. Wow, if the aggressive team gets that dragon, they'll have the morale and the buff to be able to push through.
Whistle really bullying the Ebida in the top lane, chugging on the potion to really get back into CSing. Nautilus has a really strong crowd control passive because he can stun 5 people all at once. He can just auto attack reset because that's going to be a really hard CC and stops any champion from really going in, like Maokai.
Looking at the team compositions, which team are you not in favor, but which team are you more leaning to with this kind of lineup?
With this kind of line of Rebirth Gamers Hub is focusing more on a really team synergy with Maokai and Skarner and Orianna. It's all about that synergy. It's that ideal clash they want. Whereas Jensky Esports, independently, they can hold up on their own. They don't need each other, and it's gonna really show that Jensky is a bit more powerful in the early game, and we see an invasion to the blue side of Rebirth Gamers Hub, and he secures that blue buff. That's going to be a penalty for Jaja. He's gonna be gapped in level and CS. We can clearly see already Jaja is just level 2 and Whistle going back to the top lane
But
to
Ni
claim his
Evida
lane.
is successfully getting out of that skill. I'm actually curious on how Orianna will use the shockwave in this type of phase. I mean, it's still early.
A really hard invasion by Spear. He will not let Jaja get an easy time in the jungle and goes in for the kill! That will be first blood for Spear. He burned his flash, but that
It
was
was
too
worth
late.
it.
It was too late. Kha'Zix was already in range for that kill. You can really see Spear is going for an aggressive invasion. And now rotating back to the mid lane. Flash in. Whoa. That was very risky. Good thing Toxic was able to survive that. And clearly going back to what I said about Jaja. He will have a hard time going back to his jungling route. Because what Spear did was counter jungling, disrupting his flow and denying him the XP. And now A-Style is gonna go for a fight onto Kinsum. He gets exhausted. Who will die? It's going to be a flash in by Blaze to secure the kill. And Zhao has to run away. He has to be safe. That was that was immediate burst from Blaze. That's the Zyra support right there, Yoko. What can you say about the Zyra support? It's so powerful.
It is a fast hand, and she was able to respond. We're back here in the jungle. We have
Spear. I can clearly say Spear has the lead in jungle. Level 5 to level 3. Skarner needs to hit level 6 to gank effectively. And now with blue buff gone, giving first blood to Spear and losing the wolves, he is very behind. He has to catch up with his jungle.
Look, 5 minutes and 42 seconds to the game, we could see that Jensy has 2 kills, whereas Rebirth Gamers Hub has 0. And with the gold lead leaning on to Jensky Esports.
And you can see in the top lane Whistle picking up that second orange ring with the corrupting potion. That calls for heavy lane to play, and he will not let Nievida get away safely. He's such a hard bully because Nautilus, you can't run away from Nautilus easily because of that hook shot and his hard safety stun passive.
Whistle is clearly taking advantage of that Nautilus hook, given that he won't stop
And Whistle hooking towards the wall to try to get away from Jaja's gun. And here comes Spear for the counter gag. Goes for Ebida first. Shows badge. And and Whistle secures the kill. Giving
showing
Whistle,
that badge.
giving Whistle the kill. Giving him an advantage in the lane. They should know that Jaja is delayed in jungle. Why are they going for a gank where he's very gapped? So that was a bit of a misplay for Rebirth Gamers Hub.
We haven't seen much action here in the mid lane. However, back in the bot lane, we could see that Jin and Zyra is seriously waiting for the perfect time to strike, whereas Nami is just waiting.
It's interesting to see that the first item of Kinzong is not the tier, it's the pickaxe. Why? When you are behind in damage, into Jin, that last 4 bullet is a crit. So to catch up to that damage, picking up an early pickaxe is wise instead of a tier. Whereas you're really behind in damage, so why risk it? A safe item is a good pick. And now the second item is a tier. That is gonna build to a mana bank. And on the bot side, Ace picking up 3 long swords. I guess he will be going for Agrimus Ghostblade really early for that extra speed, which really kite the enemies.
I really think he's getting through that speed. Probably planning for a chase. And here we have the bot lane.
Ace really pushing that lane, not letting Gonzon farm in peace. And there's the curtain call just to make some move. The Stranglethorn does not land, really pressuring them to get back. He just came back to lane, and now he has to go back. He goes flash in, but the crit bullet does not finish him off because it is not enough damage yet.
Zyra and Jin backed away. It was actually a good timing for the curtain call, just that Ez was able to body block Nami.
The curtain call was used to give them a message because Rebirth Gamers Hub is a bit, they're really behind. They're a late game composition. What Jensky Esports is doing, showing their early strength. Like I said previously, Rebirth Gamers Hub is going for the team synergy late game. It's the ideal clashing one. And here comes a blind Stranglethorns to catch them by surprise. And Zhao has to back away from that. They were on the ward, so they knew that Zhao would go towards that brush.
And here going back to the mid lane. Not much action here, given that Lux and Orianna is more. They have more presence during the mid part of the game, if I'm not mistaken. And here we have Whistle waiting for the perfect time to strike with Nievida at the top lane as well. Whistle is clearly taking advantage of that hook.
The hook provides him a gap closer because Nautilus's base movement speed is so slow. But that trench line gives him that gap closer. You can use it on terrain, so closing the gap very fast, and it's a surprise. And here, Jensky was going for that Infernal Drake, punishes as Zhao for that ward, flashes in, and using the blast cone, going back to the dragon. That is efficiency.
First, ooh.
That will be the first Drake, giving them
So
8%
close, though.
extra AD and AP. And the next dragon will determine if Jensky Esports should go back to being aggressive in the bot lane. Because right now, when you are having a hard time in the bot lane, it gives signal to the enemy that, hey, maybe we can, force them into a fight they're not comfortable with. Maybe we can take the objectives really early.
Earlier, we could see that Ez actually used his ult to try and steal that dragon, but failed. If the ult was able to take down that dragon, what would be your what do you think will happen to Rebirth Gamers Hub? What plan or what will they do with that kind of buff?
With that kind of buff, I mean, Ezreal can really catch up really quickly. But sadly, that didn't happen, and they have to, think again. The next dragon, next Drake is Ocean. That will help them sustain a lane. And here comes the curtain call from A Style. Kanzo shifts away from the bullet, gets the fourth crit, and Jaja coming in for the gank. Here comes the Tsunami. Blaze burns his flash to get away from the
Perfect flash from
knockoff.
Blaze.
That was a good flash. That was a safety flash. I mean, not a required flash, but
Yeah, but it still pushed him to safety, so
that control ward is there, and Spear and Whistle are in the brush pairs. And here
They're
comes the
waiting.
stealth approach and surprise attack from Jensky. The Ebiter pops his ultimate to negate the damage, but he's not going anywhere. Whistle gets his second kill.
wow, that was. They made it look so easy, and here we go again with the badge.
The badge, they're really famous for badging. And why was it easy, Yuko? Because there's no version. Control ward, from the name itself, it's controlling that certain spot, that strategic spot. And because of that, look, that was such an easy gank. It was a giveaway gank. And now Jaja holding that top lane, does not want to give that first turret yet. 0-5, just 11 minutes and 46 seconds into the game. Maokai picking up that Spectre Scout to really, since Nautilus is an AP champion, I guess it's too much damage for Niebida to, tank it.
He is gonna negate that Nautilus, and we can see that Jin has the highest CS count right here.
With Serene Dirt finish, we can really say that he's going for that Doom Exploder. And that crit shoot is gonna be something you gotta watch out for, because you can't really, calculate properly how much a crit damage is gonna do. And we can see Spear roaming in the jungle, who might opt for
Going
the
to the
gank
riverside,
to the mid
that
lane.
getting that buff.
And the thing about Skarner is that why did Jaja pick up Skarner? Skarner is exceptional when it comes to objectives. Dragon Pit has a Spire, Baron has a Spire, but if you don't utilize it, it's not gonna mean anything that you pick the Skarner. Blaze clearing that control ward because Spear wants to go to bot lane, wants that kill. Here it comes, the current call! Yao has been slowed, but the Tsunami denies the Spear of Leap! And Baldoa won't be enough! And that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Yuko, what can you say about it? What happened with Rebirth Gamers Hub?
Nami burned her ult for that. However, Zyra was able to put that Stranglethorns in the bot lane. It was just a bit too late. If Zyra was able to put it on the quite some time earlier, she'd be able to save herself.
Whistle very tanky with that 2 Doran's Ring and a Ruby Crystal and a Spectre's Crown. He won't be taking any damage from the Evida. Plus the cooldown of the Titan's Wrath, Nautilus' shield, is so short. I mean, the duration is long and the cooldown is long, but the duration makes up for the cooldown. He is just bullying
He is
Niebida.
taking that advantage given that he is against Niebida.
Getting the turret hits, but he does not mind because he can.
So tanky though. Here, Niebida slowly backing away. Here we have Zyra on the top lane.
Blaze responds for a gank, forcing Niebida to burn his flash, but the ultimate of Whistle, it was barely enough to stop him from escaping, and now here comes Spear! He gets the kill with the Rampage! That badge, oh, I can't emphasize enough how much it's gonna hurt Rebirth Gamers Hub, and now Jaja forced to back away from his own jungle because Jensky Esports controls the top lane, so therefore controlling the blue side.
Whistle actually took a turret shot, but it seems like it didn't affect him at all. And here we're going back to the jungle.
The almost ghost place has been finished by A-Star, and while as Kinzan is having a bit of a hard time catching up. Yes, but he just made it, and looks like A-Style might go down, forced to burn his flash to get away to safety, but won't go down without fight. Now we see Blaze chasing the Kinzan. He does not get snared by the Strangle Thorns.
Nami did agree. Going back to the river, here we have Lux and Spear. They're probably eyeing that dragon. Oh,
The
they're
dragon,
getting that blue buff.
yeah, they're eyeing the dragon because the dragon is
An
almost
ocean
up.
drake.
It's almost up. 20 seconds left. They're just preparing. With that control ward placed by Jensky Esports, it will give them an advantage, an upper hand to see who is going to the Dragon's Pit and who is not. Where Rebirth Gamers Hub does not have wards in the heavy objective map side, which is the bot.
And a link up to you. Anyway, going back to the game. What do you think should Rebirth Gamers Hub do? Rebirth Gamers Hub have to do in terms of our rotation, since Jensky Esport is really aggressive. They're not taking a no for an answer.
They have to step back, farm. They are a late game top, and they have to focus on objectives. Look at Jensky Esports taking that break without a trouble, with Whistle providing some zoning towards Toxic. So they got the Drake. Will they go for a fight? No, they do not, because they got what they wanted. Objective is always first. Next is kill. Because when you get an objective like the Drake, it gives your team a whole buff that gives an advantage over the opposing team.
You have the mid lane, Toxic and Lux. Are they gonna engage?
We can see that Jensky Esports really want to go for that objective. And now the Tsunami has been popped because they want to create some room. And now they do not want to give up the Rift Herald in the bot lane.
What was
Kinzon was
ult
left
for?
alone with a Zyra and a Jhin. That's not what you want to do to your ADC when there's a Zyra support. Ezreal has the shift, Arcane Shift, to go away from danger. But once the Stranglethorn lands on him, he can't move there. He has no form of escape. So I think Kinza misjudged that part.
17 minutes and 17 seconds in the game. We have 1 kill for the blue team and 8 kills for the red team, with the red team having a gold advantage. Whistle is really tanky right now. He's really prepared to duel the Evident.
Duel him and also to push that lane. Picking up that message will help with the region, and
Another turret down from the blue team.
that's going to be the second turret for Jensky Esports, where Rebirth Gamers have no turrets yet. 17 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Blaze flashes in for the Stranglethorns, does not land. Toxin getting a bit of damage from them. Really chunked that HP, and now
Jaja came in just the right time.
just the right time to provide safety for his teammate.
Looking at the itemizations right here, what can you say about both teams?
They're going for a more defensive itemization. Rebirth Gamers Hub is going for that late game defensive and late game offensive, then shifting to an offensive, where Jensky Esports is taking advantage of their early damage with that Kha'Zix. More offensive side onto Kha'Zix and defensive to Nautilus, because Nautilus provides hard CC and gap closing. No one can avoid it. Here's the surprise leap from Spear, focusing onto Kinzu, and now focusing onto Zhao, but he pays the price, giving the shutdown gold to Jaja.
Ez burned his ult for that though.
Burning his flash, and he exhaust really, negates the damage. And here's the snipe from Spotless.
That was a really nice aim. And perfect timing as well. Whistle here at the river, going back to the top lane. Zyra though is going to the mid. Will we see a clash, or are they just trying to harass Orianna?
Because they can. I mean, obviously,
can.
top lane, bottom lanes, outer turret are gone. Of course, next focus would be the mid lane. If they secure this mid lane, they almost take control half of Rebirth Gamers Hub's jungle territory, and giving up that much map means giving up that much control. With Baron almost live and the next Drake is Cloud, if they get that Cloud Drake, that speed boost will help them with rotations.
Jhin and Zyra is really pushing that mid turret though.
Oh, that shockwave did not land because A-Style had his flash. That was a close call for A-Style. I mean, Jensky Esports has the advantage right now, but they can't afford to make any mistakes. Niebeda pops that ultimate to survive some damage. It's okay because the cooldown is very low on the vengeful Razor.
Whistle is really taking advantage. Going back to the bot lane, we see that there are 3 champions and they're probably going down.
Gets sniped again! Spotless sniping the target where they least expected. That long range poke is going to be painful, and now Toxic might go down, but the ebb and flow saves his life.
Earlier, we could see that Spotless popped the ult in the right time. However, Zhao, with that ebb and flow, was able to save a teammate.
And here, Jensy Esports, 4 turrets already.
Fourth,
Whereas
that is the
Reaper's Gamers
fourth
Help,
turret.
no turret. It's all about this. You have kills, but those kills don't mean anything if you don't have objectives. Because kills means lead and more gold. You have to monopolize that as much as you can before the enemy team responds to it, catches up to it. And now the Lex Dragon is almost live with just 50 seconds left.
Going back to what you said earlier, it is true that once you get a lot of kills, it's just not about the kills. You have objective as well, and here we can see that there's no tension. They're probably waiting for a proper time to strike.
And in the bot lane, Zara picking up Hunting Gaze. That's magic penetration. More damage. It's going to be now shifting towards that AP Zyra. Because AP Zyra itself is very powerful. When you provide your team enough vision and support and assist with crowd control, it's safe to shift to a full AP Zyra where you can provide your team more damage to burst down tanky targets like Maokai, Skarner. And they have to be very careful because when Skarner picks up really good items, essential items, let's say Righteous Glory for that speed boost, he can fast, quickly close that gap to land, to really just pick off anyone he chooses. But that would be hard because there is that Zyra. And now providing some time for his teammates, they pay the price. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade for Spotless picking up a kill against Toxic. And now we see Jaja going towards Whistle, but that's not a wise choice. They back away from that.
One of the combos I think will happen to be Jin's ult, followed by Lux's ult, and then Whistle using that hook to just get...
Spear going for that assassination onto Kenzo. He might go down, but he has secured a high priority target. He leaps away, but oh wow,
You
the
badges!
pistol
Wow!
lets him leave. He survives that assassination attempt.
I would have to give emphasis on how he badged first before actually leaping out.
That was a planned attempt. There was the blast cone. He knew they are
Another
really. Ah,
match.
there it is. Spear really just showing that lead with a 5-1-3 KDA with 133 CS. Look at the CS of Spear to Jaja. Jaja only has like 86 CS, where
Whereas
Spear has
he has
133. Why is that?
a huge
Counter
CS
jungling.
gap.
Counter jungling. It's when you counter jungle, you deny gold and EXP, and now Jaja could not provide that pressured gank, that sure kill gank with his ultimate because Spear really denied it early on. Blue buff lost and a wolf, that is a ton of EXP. And now Jensy Esports getting the Baron. No wards placed by Rebirth Gamers Hub. Will they let them get this Baron uncontested with a 3-13 score? Just 23 minutes, almost 24 minutes into the game, they've secured the first Baron of the game. What a lead for Jensy Esports, 47,000 gold.
They are now pushing onto Rebirth Hub's base.
With that Baron, they can do an aggressive push. They have nothing to fear because look at Whistle soaking up that damage. He can just go in as he pleases, just walk to high priority targets.
That life though. Spotless here knocking onto that base.
Pushing right now because they can with the Baron buff and a Knight's that Nautilus' second item is the Knight's Guardian. That is a support item. And where did he channel it to? To Spear. Oh, that's going to be deadly. Now Rebirth Gamers have to watch out that synergy of Jensy Esports.
They're making a statement right now that they will and will push and be aggressive all throughout this game.
Jaja trying to look for the right time to go in, but can't because the Zyra Spear flashes out to safety, and Spotless providing damage cover for his teammates. Spear getting a bit too reckless. I mean,
Big overextended.
but you know why Spear can just go in and go out? Because of that reset. He gets those resets with a kill or assist for his lead.
First base turn down.
Here comes the Strangle Thorns, Whistle closing the gap to kill Toxic, and now Jaja trying to find his place but gets stunned by Whistle. He tries to get away, but here comes the flash in, crit damage, giving A-Style that double kill, and now here comes the Ebida, a bit too late. He should not have picked that fight, and this could be Jensky Esports' game, and they could end it if they want to win. 2 inhibitor turrets down and 1 inhibitor down. They have a huge control of the map.
Whistle was clearly on the front line there, but even when he got hit by Ez's ult, his life just popped right up anyway.
With the death timers of Toxic, just 3 seconds left. Will they be able to defend this turret? With only 4 members left. Here comes Spear going in for the kill. That's so much damage, and now Toxic cannot find his place. Whistle just immobilizing Skarner, because what Skarner needs is mobility, but denying that really counters Skarner. And now that's it, guys. 318 scored. Rebirth Gaming Hubs versus Jensky Esports. It will be Jensky Esports game. So Yuko, what happened there? What did Rebirth Gamers Hub did wrong?
Maybe they probably didn't know when to enter, given that Jensy was clearly in sync. Like Zyra's skills and they had a Nami. Nami could just pop in her ult, and then the other champions could just dive in as well. But however, Zyra on the other team, she knows when to enter and when to set. And they also have a Jin curtain call, which is really long range, and they have a Lux and Whistle. Wow, he was clearly on the front line, taking so much damage but getting it back.
We can also see that Spear really countered Jaja really early. If you counter jungle, like that's the blue buff, that's the wolf, that's EXP. Because of that, Jaja could not gank efficiently. Was so behind. You saw he was very submissive in the jungle, could not even gank a lane properly. So here are the standings. We see Toxic 0-3. He was heavily pressured in the mid lane, but the focus is now on Spear with a 7-1 KDA with a goal of 12.5 thousand, and the CS between Jaja compared to Jaja is 88 to 143.
Such huge CS lead. We could see now how important CS is, given that you could just connect it to how much damage you can get.
Zyra support deals so much damage, more damage than the ADC of Rebirth Gamers Hub, which is the Ezreal. It just goes to show they have clear more damage, more burst, so they had a hard time really, getting back to farm. Because right now, I think it's hard for teams who play very submissively, just farming. They can't play that style anymore because they seem to get always be punished by that playstyle. So Yuko, what's gonna happen next?
Well, in line with that, Jensy was clearly into their objective. They stuck to that, and we'll see what will happen for the next game. Will the enemy team be able to push back or have a quick plan B? Or will Jensky, with their badging, still get another win? Well, that was the game, guys. We'll be back after a short break. Please don't leave, and you might want to get a snack while waiting. And again, this is Yuko with Vulcan. Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split powered by Backers Energy Drink.
Looking towards the wall to try to get away from Jaja's gun, and here comes Spear for the counter gank. Goes for Ebida first, shows the badge, and he secures Whistle. Secures the kill, giving
Showing
Whistle,
that badge.
giving Whistle the kill, giving him an advantage in the lane. Spear
Whistle.
focusing on the Kinsu, and now focusing on to Zhao, but he pays the price, giving the shutdown goal to Jaja.
Yes, Whistle ult is that good.
Spear going for that assassination on the Kinso. He might go down, but he has secured a high burn target. He leaps away. Oh wow!
The
fast
badges!
roll.
Wow!
Let's leave. He survives that assassination attempt.
I would have to give emphasis on how
Here comes the Strangle Thorns. Whistle closing the gap to kill Toxic, and now Jaja trying to find his place, but gets stuck. done by Whistle. He tries to get away, but here comes the flash in. Crit damage, giving A-Style that double kill. And now here comes the Evita. A bit too late. He should not have picked that fight. And this could be Jensy Esports' game. And they could end it if they want to win. 2 inhibitor turrets down and 1 inhibitor down. They have a huge return now.
Whistle was clearly on the front line there. But even when he got hit by Ed's ult, his life just popped right up anyway.
With the death timers of Toxic, just 3 seconds left. Will they be able to defend this turret? It's only 4 members left. Here comes Spear going in for the kill. That's so much damage, and now Toxic cannot find his place. Whistle just immobilizing Skarner. Just what Skarner needs is mobility, but denying that really counters Skarner. And now that's it, guys. 318 score. Reverse Gaming Hub.
I told you this was a bad deal, man!
Shut up and move!
Which way?
Over here!